Hey everybody. So as usual, if you have any kinds of questions or anything you'd like to see addressed, feel free to put it in the chat. Hi Joanna. Nice to see you. If there's anything you'd like addressed, just speak up. Otherwise, we will roll with whatever comes. Give people about 30 more seconds and then we'll get started. So this is that moment where we shift from the past and the future into the present. Where we let go of all the stories we've been building upon, and we just let them fall to the ground. This is that moment where you can breathe freely. That moment where none of their nonsense can touch you. To step into this moment, there's nothing you need to heal. There's nothing you need to fix. There's no one you need to convince them that they're wrong. There's no one you have to be. Step into this moment and be free. No one has to step into it with you. Nobody owes you that. They'll be ready when they're ready. Step into this moment and be free of it all. Show up. And just breathe in that space. Show up for this moment, and all the parts of you that are aligned with the past and future will slowly lose that vibration of turmoil and suffering. Let it fall away. It'll be there if you choose to pick it up again. tension high in the body at the forehead and crown. And just sit in this moment and breathe. Watch your breath. And let that be enough. It's okay to let it come to a stop. You don't have to keep it up in the air. Let it all fall to the ground. Be with what's left. Something so natural and self-balancing is able to enter the space when you do this. Can you feel that? A self-existent balance that you don't have to uphold. You just stop abandoning it, stop painting over it. And there it is. There's a teaching that is specific to shamanism. It's contained in any legitimate spiritual practice, but overtly stated in shamanism. And it's the teaching of power economy. This realization that in any given moment we have more steam or less steam to be what this moment asks us to be. And that it has to do with how we manage that steam, how we manage that power. And when you let go of everything and just let the moment be exactly what it is, it is effortlessly and instantly managed. I know a significant portion of you can feel it because I can feel it magnified in the space. It's that stability, that ground that you stand on. That grounded confidence, grounded enthusiasm. It encompasses the mystical and esoteric, but it also encompasses just what it takes to go to work in the morning and continue moving forward in a job. Those two things, they're not unrelated. When you're born, you are pure, unadulterated power. Your power with no real resistance. And so you can have just about anything you want. You don't really know what to want at that stage, but whatever you want. I mean, we've all seen a newborn. You would do anything for it, wouldn't you? It just commands the world. There's so much flowing through it, and it's unimpeded. We look at it and we see what we've lost, and we just want to honor it and give to it. That's the beginning of your experience of power. It's like a fish trying to talk about water, you know. When you have it, you don't think about it. When you have it, you're able to focus on other things. When you don't have it, all you can focus on is the fact that you don't have it. But in youth, you have it. It starts strong, and then it wanes on a spectrum over the course of your life. after a period of time of having it free-flowing, you start to take on filters. Adults put images in your head of life. And because those images are unbalanced, and you have so much flowing through you, you create a lot of chaos. A child can make an adult's life hell for 2 years at least, maybe more. But it wanes, it pulls back, it pulls back. Your ability to control it barely exists until your mid-20s. That's when you develop a prefrontal cortex and you have impulse control. You have a brief window of time where you have less power flowing through you, but still a good amount, and you have the capacity for what a shaman would call power economy. You aren't squandering your energy in the same way. A lot of the useless drama has died down for a percentage of us. That point at which your life feels under control, it's different for everybody on that spectrum, but it's that point where your discipline can match the force of the remaining power moving through you. And wherever that point is, things start to feel more manageable. You start to be able to build in a good direction. Some people, they figure that out in their 20s. And so they just sort of can build earlier. Other people maybe get coddled too long in life and it's out of control for a long time. But at some point in everyone's life, in every human and animal, that flow of power wanes to a point where it matches the ability to contain it. Say on average, people consider that their 30s. Or they used to. Might be older now. But it continues to wane. And at some point, a person has to focus on power. When they have enough of it, again, they don't have to focus on it. They can focus on life. But at a certain point, it's an interplay of how much you have to output. So how much have you taken on in life? With how old are you? With how disciplined are you? What's your power economy like? But at a certain point, we all have to become very economical with how we use our power. And in a lot of ways, that's where the real learning begins. It's where you learn that you can't afford to freak out about everything. It's where you learn that you can't afford to be a perfectionist. It's where you learn that you just can't indulge in every little self-indulgent emotional whim. Because all of it spends your personal power. And so from a shaman perspective, power is an amazing teacher. The disciplined learn to work with it early in life. The less disciplined learn to work with it later. But at some point, we all have to learn power economy. The people who wield a lot of power often have to learn it earlier because they have a lot outflowing. But you learn that if you don't start to get control over your mind and over your imagery, you don't have enough enthusiasm to run your life. So it goes up and down. But true power economy is taught by letting go of everything. When you let go of every story, every image, suddenly you have more than enough to comfortably exist in a moment with a sense of facility, with a sense of being able to do and be what you need to do and be. Meditation practice brings you in contact with that. And the value of that is that you get to see this shift from squandering energy to perfect containment, from exhaustion to just everything is fine and flowing the way it needs to flow. Without that kind of a practice, there isn't enough contrast to see the difference. And so there's just this slow decline until at some point you look up and you just realize things aren't working anymore. And that's when you start reaching, sometimes for a meditation class, other times for self-help books and things like that. But the teacher, the guide, is power. That intelligent, resonant steam that enlivens every moment. Your ultimate resource. Are there any questions about that? What do you do with that? What you do is you assess your life through that lens. You assess the moments of your life through that lens. And if you're feeling underpowered, then it's because either more is going out than what is coming in, or more likely it's a combination of that with you are being uneconomical in how you are managing your power. You're indulging too much, usually in different emotions. You know, imagery is a container for power. The images that you have inside your head, power flows into them, and the union of those two things emanates a feeling. So you start to become aware of what sort of images you're empowering. And you take yourself in hand and you make some decisions. Most of us live the same few days over and over and over again. So it's not hard to look up and realize, okay, what am I empowering over and over and over again? And you make a choice. Today I'm not going to do that. Today, whenever that image comes up, I'm going to shift into meditation. Or I'm going to shift my attention to something else. Sometimes it's even about just shifting the routines. I'm going to sit in a different spot on the sofa. I'm going to take a different road to work. Just to shake yourself out of those patterns. Those grooves become so deep. But the point is you act on it. You engage with it. You make some choices. You don't just live it out every day. And in doing so, you change your life. That's the shamanic teaching on power economy. I wonder where each of you are at on that spectrum. Only you really know for sure. There's no shame in it. Some of you are exhausted because you've taken on so much, not because you're not disciplined. I'm always right at the edge of that in my life. But you have to catch yourself. Otherwise you fall asleep and everything starts moving backwards. Just something to look at. A different lens through which to assess. Let's go into meditation and just sit with that for a while. Attention at the forehead and crown. show up for this moment. And let's just breathe. Let it all find its natural shape. This moment is the perfect container for your power. Let it be. Project nothing. Let it be. The simplicity of this moment requires so little and offers so much. We make it intricate. We make it unnecessarily complex. But if you show up for what's actually here, the simplicity of this moment, offers so much. That's what's real. The rest, we're just kind of creating it. That's what's real. The rest is just a product of our pushing and pulling. Distorted waves on the surface of the water from the movement of our manipulating hands. You can feel time itself grinding to a poised stillness. As you accept the moment before you. This week, I want you to notice your power economy. I want you to notice how you use your energy, what kind of images you energize in your head. And I'd like you to make some choices. Take a few days just to notice what you do on automatic pilot. Write it down. And then bring in just a little bit of discipline. Take one or two dysfunctional things and just stop doing them. Stop shifting your attention in that direction. And just notice what it does to your enthusiasm, to how you feel throughout a day, to your endurance, and to your meditation practice. Are there any questions about that before we end? Okay, everybody. I think that's enough for tonight. I will see you all next Thursday. Have a great week. Thank you, Joanna.